Hey guys, welcome. Hope you guys don't mind that I'm recording in 720p. If you do, well, I can understand. Probably also aren't too pleased with audio quality. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. I'll try and boost it up in post. Yeah. It's early, 7:26. Life in Germany. Shout out to Sam Walton. You know, I was just thinking about something that's a positive aspect of living in Germany, the thoughtfulness. And it's almost by design. I'll just jump right into what I mean. What I'm talking about here, my first example anyway, is really clear to see when you look at the traffic rules. When you drive a car, you're responsible for a lot of other people's safety. And because there are more cyclists and pedestrians here than in the United States, some of the rules reflect just how much you have to pay attention to those other groups. Cyclists are kind of second-class citizens in the United States, to some extent. Great Britain. Australia, they have some real, like, family issues with the cyclists. But if you're going to take a left here in Germany, you always have to check for a cyclist to your right. That part doesn't sound foreign, but imagine this, if you're an American listening in. What do you think about this? Comment down below. If you have a right green arrow at a traffic light, do you have to think about anything? Or do you just go? Because in Germany, you can't just go. It's your responsibility, if you have a right green traffic light, to still check to make sure a cyclist or a pedestrian isn't going. And the only time where you really don't have to check for anything is if you're going straight. The way the traffic lights are programmed makes it so that if you're going straight, you don't have to worry about anything. They're not going to program a pedestrian walking straight across while you're driving straight through the, they're not going to program a pedestrian walking perpendicular to you directly across your path when you have a straight green light. But other than that, if you have to take a left, there's almost, not almost never, but most of the time, if you have to take a left, you have to wait there and make sure that the traffic in front of you has come through already, all the people who want to go straight. In the United States, there's a special sign for this. If you have a left arrow and you still have to wait, it'll say left turn, yield on green. Left turn, yield on green. It's something you talk about a lot in driver's education, and for good reason. It's it causes a lot of accidents because people think they have the green arrow, they should go left. But in Germany, you don't have this sign, left turn, yield on green. It's always left turn, yield on green. Always. And that's the normal part. What you also have to take into consideration is that the pedestrians on the other side of the road are also going to have a green light. Everyone who's going straight, you have to imagine it like this. All these people who are at this intersection who are going straight have priority. So if you're in your car lane and you're driving straight, you have priority over anyone who would be in front of you. If that's someone taking a left in front of you, really that's the only case it could be. If you're a pedestrian, you have that same right. You get to go straight. So any car who has to take a left has to first let all the people who are driving coming straight through, and then they have to watch out for cyclists and pedestrians who are going straight through the intersection because they have priority. I think it's an elegant solution based on basically dignity, a core value of German culture, and thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness because You really do have to be aware. It's an awareness thing. You do have to take into consideration many more variables. At least, you know, like 2 variables instead of 1, or sometimes 3 variables instead of 1 or 0. Is that much effort? Not really, but what kind of made me want to make this video is I was thinking about how in the United States the engineering avoids this solution. If you look at an intersection, you could always say, well, why don't we just put a bike lane there? And it's like, oh, what about the people who are going to turn left? You can't have a bike lane, and then like, what if they want to go straight? It's like, well, the cars can just wait. It's like, oh, no, no one's going to do that. And people will do it, but it's not designed. No one makes that design in the United States. The people aren't considerate enough. It's a shame, really, because if you don't do it this way, if you say there's got to be a better way, we must be able to do something that doesn't require people to put so much thought into it, because people are going to get confused, people are going to make mistakes, people are going to go over the handlebars. So trying to avoid that extra responsibility on the driver, what you have to do is come up with some sort of half-baked solution if you ever do put in a bike lane. But what they do instead is they just put in as few bike lanes as possible, and where the bike lanes are usually as part of the road. So if you feel comfortable riding on the road with the cars, you'll feel really, really good in a bike lane in the United States. Whereas if you're coming from Europe, where you're used to having your own lane like a meter away from the road, or say as a part of a really, really wide sidewalk, you're gonna feel like you've just been thrown into the lion's den with the cars. The whole art of driving with the traffic in the United States is for really action sports people. I'll put it that way. If you have that action sports mentality where you watch these GoPro videos of Travis Parker jumping out of an airplane with no parachute for whatever reason, if that's kind of like your way of seeing the world, like, yeah, I can fit through that, then you'll probably be fine. And if you do have a bike lane, you'll just be grateful for it. What you end up doing as a cyclist in the United States is you'll ride into the middle of a lane and pretend you're a car. You just stand there in the middle of the lane with your bike. You better have lights on, otherwise you're not going to feel too comfortable unless you're absolutely insane. You stand there and pretend you're a car. That's the only way you can get through the intersection. Otherwise, if you're thinking, all right, well, how am I going to go straight here because I want to be all the way on the right side of the lane? Or another way to say it, I want to be all the way to the right of the street, but I want to go straight, and the lane to my left wants to go right. So you're in the lane that goes right, but you want to go straight. In Germany, that straight lane for cyclists has been taken out of the car lane and moved, copy and pasted, or cut and pasted in its own lane, which has priority, because if you're going straight, you have priority. And so whenever you go to take a right, you always have to check for cyclists. And that includes the mirror check and the shoulder check. When I learned, I had to do my driver's education again a little bit, kind of a refresher. And for the German system here, when I got here, it's called mirror, blinker, look over your shoulder. Spiegel, Blinker, Schulterblick. Spiegel, Blinker, Schulterblick. And my driving instructor repeated that all the time. It was, it it impressed me. It really left an impression on me, and I think about it whenever I'm driving, because it was really drilled. And I didn't have that many sessions with him, but he drilled it really hard, really well, because it's integral in driving in Germany, because you do have that responsibility to take on that awareness for that other group, or those other two groups, cyclists and pedestrians. I think it's a really interesting cultural thing, because it shows that duty culture, Pflicht, Sozialpflicht, and a social duty and a sense of dignity, where that's really like the basis of the German society, like their constitution, that dignity is the first thing. And yeah, dignity, human dignity is inviolable. And yeah, why shouldn't you just have as much right to go straight ahead as a cyclist? I get it, yeah. I get the American way of seeing it, but it's pretty selfish. As a automobile driver, like, that you think you should always have the ability to go anywhere, do anything, unhindered, unbecumbered. Is that a word? And why shouldn't you have that same right or privilege as a cyclist when you have other benefits to the environment, to your health? It's a good thing to do for your lifestyle, but you get discouraged by doing it you get discouraged from doing it by the danger factor, which is totally understandable in the United States. It's a shame. That's all I really wanted to say there. I think it's a great thing. I just turned into this parking lot, and I'm at Aldi. It's not open yet, but I don't want to come back later. It's gonna be open soon, so I thought I would make a video. Can you see the weather outside? It's really snowy. You can kind of see it. But that's it for today. I'm glad you guys liked this video and stuck all the way to this point, 12 minutes 41 seconds. Or maybe you didn't like it, but you just couldn't find the tab that it was on and didn't bother closing it. What do I know? I'm not too sure. But this is ULMX, Universal Language Media Exchange. We make videos on German, English, German for beginners, English for intermediates, and we make videos in German and in English, and we make videos about society and culture. And we have an app. We have a product. ULMX is a business. Our product is a language learning app specifically focused on your speech ability, training speech. It's a speech trainer, and it's about €4. It's for German native speakers who want to learn English, and it's what I really wish I had when I started. I wish I had it to the point where I made a little prototype version of it for myself when I started learning German. So that's what ULMX is. That's our product. That's what we do on YouTube. And that's why I think that German culture has a higher degree of thoughtfulness, or at least in this example with the cyclists in the right turning lane. Maybe I can think of some more examples of that, but sometimes one example does it for me. I'm convinced. There's a higher level of awareness of your peers and thoughtfulness for them. Yeah, that's that. All right. See you later. See you next time. Boom. Done.